woman have to dress up when Ed Sheeran can just rock up like that kind of thing. Remember that today when I saw an LP, I was like, "Aww."
Alright. She was like, you loser.
Yeah.
But no, like, it's true. The time that Rihanna was hit by Chris Brown.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I remember that.
That's the time I stopped listening to music. And then I stopped. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yo, we're Waffle Fries edition. We're cooking in the kitchen. We got crispy fries, we got waffle fries, we got curly fries, we got straight fries. You know what? I'm gonna call you my guys because we're up in here upstairs with the flies.
Yeah, this is Waffle Fries. Waffle Fries production.
Waffle fries. Put some salt on it. Put some chicken salt on it.
Alright, verse 2. Let's go, Nikki.
Okay.
5, 6, 7, go.
There's so much oil on my forehead and the fryer. You're everything I desire for waffle fries. Waffle fries. All I got my eyes is on the waffle fries, on the prize, on the guys. You want some apple pie with that? Some salt maybe, some waffles maybe, some fries maybe, baby.
Waffle fries production. Waffle fries production. Waffle fries
production.
Yeah.
This is our
Verse 3,
induction.
go.
I like eating waffle fries. And this is kind of weird, but I'll say goodbye. And you know I don't wear straight ties, only curvy.
Waffle fries production.
Induction.
And
Mass production. Nice!
Alright, welcome back to Waffle Fries Productions podcast, whatever we're gonna call it.
WFP.
My name's Mandra, the lay missionary.
My name's Nikki, future educator. I want to correct that.
Nice. And my name's Tommy, I'm a musician.
So we're hitting up pilot episode 2. So this is not an official episode, but we thought we'd record this just to explain our previous release. If you haven't watched it already, it's on YouTube in the link somewhere.
Yep.
You'll find it. And yeah, we just wanted to kind of explain what that was about and what this episode's going to be about, and just a quick introduction of what Waffle Fries podcast is all about. I mean, we're not going to give you a big in-depth introduction. We're saving that for our official first episode. So no spoilers there, but just some context. So yeah.
I think when you listen to the first one, like I understand that some people may not understand certain jargons or like just terminology that we use throughout the podcast, and that's fine. I just want to explain that our intention was to kind of refine the pot. Now I want Tommy Francisco to explain that because I'm not very good at explaining things, and you'll find that as the podcast goes on, that I'm not very coherent with my sentences. But Tommy here, musician,
He's the best.
ESL. So obviously he's been trained. He's been trained. So we have Tommy.
I think you're pretty coherent. But I'll explain the pot anyway. So basically the idea behind the refinement of the pot analogy is there's a school teacher and she's teaching an art class. And her art class is there for a year. Like she has them for a year. And she splits the art class into two. The first half of the art class is their task is to create the best pot that they can. Like clay pot, the best. Just one of them for the whole year. They spend the whole year trying to create the best pot that they can. The other half of the art class, their job is to make as many clay pots as they can throughout that year. Just churning them out. And at the end of the year, when they compare the pots, not one of the first half's clay pots can compare to any of the class that made as many pots as they could. Because developing in a skill, regardless of what it is, doesn't come from trying to focus on making one of the best thing ever.
One skill,
yeah. It comes from repetition. And so we put out the first episode just to get the ball rolling, I suppose.
I challenge that, but what about BuzzFeed?
What about BuzzFeed?
They just churn all these videos out there.
Yeah.
Do you reckon they're a successful thing now? A successful enterprise now?
What do you mean?
Because that's how BuzzFeed started.
Yeah.
They just put out every content they could.
Yep.
Videos. And some people would argue that they focus on quantity over quality
Yep.
of their videos. So would you say they've built to that kind of standard now, that like because they've churned so much videos out that they have a higher quality now?
Yep.
Would you say that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely. If you look at BuzzFeed, like I think that's how Worth It started.
Yeah.
If you look at
I do love Worth
like
It.
that's what I watch on BuzzFeed, and Worth It's like that, where they just decided to go out and then
Yeah.
it developed into something greater. Now I think they're in season 6.
Yep.
They just finished season 6, and it's getting higher and higher to the point that people are reaching out to them.
Yeah.
Like I think
Yeah.
before it started, like BuzzFeed started with like, especially Worth It was like, this is our idea, let's do it, and then see where it goes. But now it's the opposite way, where people are coming to them. I assume because
Yeah.
like there's people reaching out to them for sure, like giving them all these things just to be featured on Worth It.
That's true. Doesn't YouTube also own them now or something? Or Google or
They
something?
might have bought them. But there's
Someone
two different. So there's two different arguments here now, because one of them is about quality versus quantity, and one is about getting better at a skill.
Ah, okay.
Right. So quality versus quantity is you can talk about that till the cows come home. It doesn't really matter to me. Like because it's like it's true. Like you can make something one time really good. Nice. Shout out to the
Cows
soundboard.
come home. That's right.
You can make one episode really, really good, or you can make 10 that are like the effort that you would have put into one, you put into 10 instead, and you can ask which one's better or which one's more beneficial. The argument that I'm presenting with the clay pots is, we're just starting, like, which way will get us to a better place? Just trying to work on one episode for a whole year,
Yep.
or putting out, I don't know, 50 episodes in 1 year.
Yep.
And so that's the whole point of the first episode. We just wanted to, well, we saw more podcasts coming up, and I guess we just wanted to get our stuff out there as well. And we just...
We thought of it first.
No, that was a bit awkward. Hey, he's my mentor. So, anyways, what I was trying to say was, the first episode, the reason we released it, and there was some music and some clips, but no real introduction or context, was because we just wanted to see what people think, like, about our conversations. We wanted to get feedback from people, like, what they want to hear, and just get some ideas from the people around us, our audience. That's the context of the first episode. It was actually a 3-hour long conversation.
4.
4?
Yeah. 4
How long,
hours.
Tommy?
There are close to 4.
Close to 4. And Tommy, our wonderful sound editor.
Wow.
Yeah. So hire him. Anyways, so what was I saying?
I forgot.
So this episode and last episode, we just want to keep hearing your feedback. And so, yeah, this second episode is another pilot to just release some more content from our previous conversations. Again, it's going to be snippets of our previous talk, the 3-hour long one. And I think it's all going to be centered around music. Right, Tommy?
Yes, sir, yes. Our stories and experience with music. But yeah, hope you guys like it.
Well, I
Do you think we have similar personalities?
No. Like...
So confident.
It's true. We're 3 different personalities.
Alright, or else, like, why would we even make the podcast? Like, if we're all just the same person.
Yeah, it's like listening to the same...
We are the same person. Ready? Hey guys. Wait, just say it with me.
See, 3 different personalities. So...
I'll do it again.
We need a video.
Hey guys. See?
I did it to be kind, you know, so...
Yes, you're all kind.
But that doesn't mean we're all the same personality. That's just one trait. Okay, everyone that's kind is the same
I don't
personality.
like this podcast because you guys make me have to be dumb. Because you're like,
Hey,
I want to be known as smart.
why do you think... Why do you think
So I'm doing my masters at the moment.
Dude, the egg
Nah.
True.
Oh my gosh.
We could get mad guests though. Like,
We could.
in terms of like the people that we know and stuff. Like,
What about people we don't know?
true, yeah. Do you mean like if we got
the one that requested the song today.
what's the song?
Please.
Oh yeah, true. What's her name? Gail. Oh fuck.
Alright, context. I don't get what happened. Go. Tell me.
What happened?
So
No, so
So
I was egging her on.
Okay, Nikki, you tell
Remember,
your
I
story
was
first.
like,
Nikki will tell the story
Oh,
first.
Tommy, they have a request. And I didn't know she was going to come up to you. And then this is what happened.
Context. They don't even-
So we were watching Tommy's gig today because we're good friends. You guys should come to every gig.
If you want to know the details, it's last minute on his Instagram. So follow him at.
Tommy Francisco 2 O's.
We're friends at school.
Anyway, tell your story, Nikki. Come on. Come on.
It's gonna sound like I cut something.
So,
It's just dead air.
so we're at. Oh my gosh.
Half this Francisco.
That's what it says.
Technically, it's Tommy Francis 0.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it is?
0. It's not O, right?
Nah, it's O's. It's O's.
Like, how do you count? Is it O 1 2 3 4? No, it's 0 1 2 3 4.
Nah, it's not that deep. Anyway, so.
All right, cool. Now this is how you bring it back, right? Like,
Slice and dice.
you make the joke too complicated. Anyway, so
Yeah, true.
so we're watching Tommy's gig, and
Yep.
I'm not a good storyteller, but anyway, so you're watching Tommy's gig, and this lady, these two old ladies, elderlies, were watching the horse. Wait, they were watching the derby. They were watching the derby.
the horse racing.
The horse racing, and not watching Tommy, I guess. Anyway, so they were listening. We were listening to Tommy, and then this lady comes up to Tommy. Oh, I forgot the story. So I was like, oh, request, we have a request. And I was like, oh, request. To the, oh, I forgot. Okay, so the elderly was there and I was like, hey, request a song. And I didn't know she was going to get up and go to Tommy while he was singing. Okay, Tommy can continue the story.
Yeah, so she got up to Tommy,
And so
she got and walked up to Tommy, and
Yeah. She got up, like, and she's holding a cigarette or whatever. And she's like, oh no, she comes up to me and I'm like, oh, so you have a request? And she's like, yeah, I have a request. And I ask her, oh, so what song is it? Like, do I know it? She's like, oh, I don't know what song. I'm like, oh, okay. And then she says, what's a good one? And I'm like,
I have a request.
she has a request.
yes.
So her request was, can you give me a request?
And so
But she walked up for it.
yeah,
It was so sick. It was
It's
cool
cute,
to watch.
It's cute.
yeah,
It's like me and Nikki were trying to make friends.
It was interesting. But I mean, that's like the nature of a gig, you know.
Do you get that often?
Quest.
Well, I get requests often because, well, not at that place, but at other like venues, I'll play a song or two and I'll say on the mic like, if you guys have requests or whatever, don't be scared. Like, come up and let me know. Maybe I can. Like,
What's the funniest request story that you've done?
the funniest request story
Like, is it weirdest request or like?
Well, like the same guy. One time, this was like early on though. One time, the same guy asked for the same song 4 times.
Like,
Yeah.
tell us what happened. Like, explain the story.
Well, so I'm playing, right? So it's probably like the second hour, close to the end of the second hour of a 3-hour gig. And this guy and his mates, there's like 3 of them in the back or whatever. And you mean they've been clapping along or whatever, but not in time. They're drinking under the influence or whatever. And then they're having a good time, and so usually that helps the vibe for me. Like, it means I can play a bit louder or a bit freer or whatever. So then one of them comes up to me, and he goes, like words slurred and whatever. He goes, "Hey mate, can you play Wonderwall?" Right, classic bar song. Most pub musicians, dive bar musicians know it, like off by heart. Like, it gets requested, probably the most requested song ever. And I was like, yeah, of course I know it. Yeah. And well, so I had already played it at the start of the gig.
because I usually open with a song that everyone knows so that I get everyone's attention.
True. Good tactic.
Yeah, right. And so and then everyone will clap, and then that's when I'll say the request thing. Anyway, so I'm like, yeah, of course. So I'll play it next up. I'll play it next up. And so I play it, and they're singing along, but maybe whatever, right? And then I finish, and the same bloke comes up to me, and he's like, "Oh, mate, can you play Wonderwall?" And I was like, "Man, I just played it, mate. What are you talking about?" He's like, "Yeah, just play Wonderwall, mate. Like it's a gun song." And I was like, "All right, I'll play it next." So I played another song.
Did you play Wonderwall again?
No, I played like I can't even remember what song. I played like probably Castle on the Hill or something like that. And then after I played half of Wonderwall.
Because you don't want to ask other people there too.
Yeah, so it's still there's like it's like a Saturday night. The bar is full, and like I can't be playing Wonderwall for the whole set. You know what I'm saying? Like people start looking at me weird. So I did like a verse and a chorus just to tide over those three guys. And then I go with my next song, and then the same guy comes up to me again. He's like, "Mate, you're a rocker, mate." Like he said, he's G'ing me up. Like he's like, "Oh yeah, you're good. Can you play Wonderwall?" I'm like, "Mate, I already played it for you twice, mate. What are you talking about?" And he goes, "Yeah, just play it, mate. Just play Wonderwall. Come on, mate." And so again, I don't know. I play another song in the middle, and then I play just the chorus of Wonderwall.
It got shorter.
Yeah. And then I'm like, I start with like I
was actually listening, but
I play because they're singing along, right?
Oh.
So I play the G right at the start of it, and I just but maybe, and then
They finish the rest.
and they finish
Take
the
it
rest
away.
or whatever. Yeah, and then I play another song, and then his friend comes up, not him, a different of the three. Come up to me, he's like, "Man, you're really good. Can you play Wonderwall, please?" And at that point, I was like, "Man, these guys got to be like messing with me or whatever." Like they were Gonskis, right? They were like really under the influence.
So funny.
But at this point, I was like, they got to know that I've played it already. So at that point, like I was like, "Yeah, I'll play it, man. I'll play it." And he goes back to and it looks like he's saying, "Yeah, he's doing it." And I just played the G and I go to a different song because I was like, "Nah, I can't do it anymore. I can't do it."
Imagine if they had their own podcast happening and they talk about this story from their
true,
perspective. They're like, "Oh my god, this guy did play Wonderwall for."
That's what at the end of the night when I was thinking about
thought
it,
it was like a-
I thought maybe they were like playing a game or something, like who can get me the most play Wonderwall. But that means they had to be musicians to know that, because most people just see Wonderwall as the pub song that gets everyone going. Like, and the first time you play it, it is like you'll get everyone most of the time in a good pub.
That's probably how bands do it. They do their best song first, or one of their catchy songs, and then they do all their... I noticed that about bands. Do you notice? They do their good song, and then in the middle is where they do all their experimental songs, like things that maybe they're trying out, or like things that they're...
They don't know if it'll hit with the live audience.
It's intentional, and then at the end, that's great.
Because it's the
That's
first.
why you did Thinking Out Loud last.
Yeah.
It's the first note that counts in everything. Like even we learned that in YFC, in music ministry, you play with confidence from the very start. Yeah. Even when we did mass singings, it was always like that. The choir needs to come in, even if you don't know the rest of the song. If you know the first few lines confidently, the rest of the congregation will sing it. And the same thing, like if you want people to get hype, you set the tone. So they always have to do like a really good song, because then it's like everyone's like, "This is what we're waiting for." Like, you know what I mean? Like
because, well, especially if you're talking about like a concert or whatever, people are like waiting for like 2-3 hours. You know what I'm saying, for like Paramore or Ed Sheeran, right? Like you open up with the saddest song in your whole set list. No way, you can't. Like, and even for me, right? I open with a strong song and I end with a strong song because open is first impression. And close is lasting impression. It's what they remember, right? So
it's like the bell curve, right? Start strong, and then they experiment. They bring it down. Like okay, because like when you think you're at a concert, like it's actually pretty long, right?
Yeah.
So like the first song you're giving your full attention. Then as the night goes, you're like, and then in the middle they start talking, and you're like, oh, okay, I'll listen again. And then bam, like they play like a song. Like I feel like that's what it is, right? Like my experience at John Mayer. Like he would play like it was so good, and then boom, 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 and then he starts to talk to us, and then like you get attention again, and then he plays like he'll tell like a story,
So talented,
right? Like
You didn't come to this one this year.
Yeah, because I was in fields. They're rubbing into my face. I was so sad.
True.
There's a lot of things I've had to sacrifice to chase the
It's
dream.
okay.
That's
He didn't sing some hits that you would have liked.
But it was good, hey?
How long was the show? I heard he doesn't do openers. He does two.
He opens himself.
Yeah, he does two.
So
hours.
that was 2 sets, right?
Yeah, we missed the first song because we were like, yeah, it's all good, and then we heard him singing and we ran.
Dang.
We ran.
Yeah, he
Fake,
does
fake John Mayer fans.
two. Yeah.
Nah, yeah.
He does 2 1-hour sets, right? Is that what? That's what I heard.
No, I heard this tour, the one that I missed.
Yeah.
Sad. Let's take a moment of silence, please. Alright, anyway,
Hey
so
guys.
Tommy Francisco. But anyway, back from a
That's
little break,
so
got moment of silence. No, like, because this is John Mayer's style, and this is why I love it. Like, it makes you interested. Because his normal concert is like, the first is, he has 3 sets. An acoustic set. Oh, that's my phone.
It's cute.
He has an acoustic set.
Yeah.
He has a trio set, and he has a band set.
Yeah.
You know the set about John Mayer. So he normally starts, I think, with his trio or full band. One I forget. So long ago. It's either trio or acoustic first, right? And he just starts the concert, and then layers it. Then you have your trio, because you know his songs, right?
Mm.
He has great like acoustic songs, like Daughters.
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't sing that.
He did it.
No.
Whoa, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Nate was Devo,
I
and Tim Adams was so Devo.
I imagine all of those guys would have loved it. So sad. Again, moment of silence. Ugh.
Hey guys.
But he does a lot of good stuff acoustic, and then his trio songs are like Vultures, Bold as Love. Like, you know how he has a trio, right? Okay, fake fan, but no, sure,
I'm a
jokes.
fake fan.
No, but it's
No, not that like.
I seen him. He brings his trio to like the jazz festivals.
yes, because
Oh, him and Palladino
And-
the other guy.
the drummer.
The drummer, yeah.
The other guy.
I forget his name, but like his
I didn't know the bassist because of Eric. That's his
Yeah.
favorite.
Yeah, true.
Peter Palladino and the drummer. I think it's not Styx, is it? Styx is a different drummer.
Johnny Sticks.
You know who I'm talking about, right?
I think so.
The
Is
big
that his last
guy.
name? Sticks.
Nah, that's
sick.
what they call him. 'cause
The big guy. Like African American
yeah,
color.
Yeah. He has, sometimes he has
Colour.
dreads. I see him with dreadlocks.
Yeah, and then he's like he plays mad stuff.
Yeah.
But like they play and they have songs that are catered to that, and it's mainly the jazz stuff. Like
yeah.
because it's just a bass, electric guitar, and a drum
Yeah.
kit.
Bass, electric guitar.
Yeah.
That's
So you
sick.
got your bass with the rhythms and the beats.
Yep.
Your drum keeping the timing, and then your electric guitar adding the flares.
Everything else.
No
yeah.
keys in this trio.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
is this what's this
It's
one?
just those 2 trios, and John's voice.
Yeah.
And then the full band is like the hideout stuff, like slow dancing.
I see
Gravity.
Sometimes he has like 2 drums.
It does. It's crazy, and it's really entertaining. Like he tells a story, and he has a
he's good. He's a good
personality,
speaker.
right?
Yeah, he has a good personality.
And
Charming.
Like it comes out. Yeah.
I remember the first time. He's my first concert actually
Whoa.
that I went to,
That's
and like
Oh yeah, with Natalie Tran.
yeah, we met Natalie Tran there.
Oh, that's
Community channel.
Community channel.
And didn't she ask you again if?
Yeah, that was so sad. Like
What do you mean?
like when John Mayer released dates for Australia.
Yeah.
Like, because we took a photo the first time we met him.
Yeah.
Met her.
Yeah.
The first time we met her, and then we uploaded it.
Yeah.
And on that same post, like at the end of last year, she messaged like on a comment, like, "Hey, are you guys going again?"
Really?
Yeah,
That's so like she went on someone's profile.
legit.
Right, he's one.
Ages ago, like,
That's cool.
how do you
yeah.
find that? Like,
Oh, was it your one?
my one, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
And that's what made
It's
it.
nice though. I think she was just like connecting with people. That,
It was so cool.
yeah, she's nice.
And it made me sad even more. I was like,
Yeah, true.
could have gone to John
See,
Mayer.
but that affirms your vocation so much more. Like the sacrifices you're making.
Yeah, it was. There's a bit.
What you're leaving behind.
Yeah, true.
It's
Why are you
true.
laughing? That he really loved that. Like he really loved John Mayer.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's-
Why you trying to?
Okay, background. If people don't know, like John Mayer is one of the reasons I like pursued guitar, like and can play. Like he's a mad guitarist. Maybe his morals and stuff like that. No, like I don't really follow. But as a musician, I think that's where I was like I fell in love with music. Not really singing, but actually I love his voice now. But music, because he's just really technical.
Yeah, well, he knows his stuff.
He knows his stuff.
Like he's like musician's musician.
Who inspired you? Besides Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, Ed Sheeran. Like Ed Sheeran inspired me to like perform, but in terms of like just music, probably like Michael Jackson. A lot of the stuff in the room, like you know, like my whole like growing up, my dad just played music, like as in like CDs and classic rock.
Like would you wake up to music playing?
Yeah, right. Yeah, even now, like my dad will.
Even
like,
this morning, hey.
Yeah, right.
I was like listening to the vinyl.
It'll be like 8 a.m. and like my dad's pumping like Pink Floyd or the Eagles or
Love that.
something like that. Like
Yeah, I grew up with that too. Like the stereo system.
yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Cassette tapes.
Yeah, right. Like there's some ways, and I think that's why I'm like I lean so much into the acoustic stuff because my natural like what I like is hip hop, right? Like I love rap music, but it's like I just don't fully assign to it, and I think it's because I grew up listening to like classic rock, right? Like it's all guitars.
You don't like rock, eh?
See, I'm not like a. I don't listen to Paramore, like.
So major. No.
Huh? No, I think when I started hanging out with Tommy more, I started to push rock.
I think you're the person that showed me Paramore.
Yeah.
You mean like, I didn't know.
But it's preference, right? Isn't it? It's just like.
Well, I'm sure. Well, because everyone had that emo stage of like listening to like punk rock music or whatever.
Yeah,
apparently,
I'm in that phase.
Yeah, there you go. See,
I never had that. I'm sure you never had that.
Yeah, I never had it.
I never had that actually.
Really?
Yeah.
But you had a fringe.
I had a fringe. I was late to the trends, guys.
Yeah, true.
Growing up as an Indian.
That's true.
Right? Hey. Okay, growing up as an Asian, parents have a lot of control over you.
That's true.
So during that time, I was in primary school, right? And all the fillers and all the Asians growing out their hair, this and that. And my parents still like, nah, you get this haircut.
That's true.
And actually, music, I grew up with it, like listening to it, like a lot of my mom and dad's music, like Jim Reeves, like old school stuff.
Who?
Do you even know who that is?
Who is it?
Jim Reeves?
Jim Reese. It sounds familiar.
Reese.
It's probably
Jim Reeves. I don't even know if I'm saying it properly, but the covers were black and white, so like.
Yep.
Anyways, like that old stuff, because like my grandparents lived with us and stuff like that, and so I grew up with that. But then as soon as I went from primary school to high school, I stopped listening to music. I had a whole phase of my life where I stopped.
Like altogether.
Yeah, like I just wouldn't listen. So for you, like that, and that was the emo phase, because the time that I listened to music was like Love and Usher, like Love and His Club, like like Cyclone, like all that disco music, like like the sea walking stuff. Do
you know that's the Pinoy rapper?
Yeah, a lot of Filipinos like have a lot of emotion in their songs.
Yeah, true.
That's given, but like that's what I listened to. Like I think the last stuff like I was heavy into was like, Jerk. Like teach me how to jerk.
Oh my gosh.
Teach me how to.
I used to have the past life guys. I used to jerk and stuff. Like if you ask people who were at my joining camp.
What a Jerron.
Oh no, we're different people. Come on.
Jerron
Seawalks.
Yeah, daddies.
I was the other one.
Is that the one with the pants? Nah. You know those parachute pants? That's not jerking.
That's shuffle.
Shuffling, sorry.
Yeah, they're shuffling.
Shuffling is different, eh? Melbourne shuffle.
As soon as it became the Melbourne shuffle in Sydney, we stopped doing it.
Yeah.
Right? This whole Melbourne.
And they still had the high vis like suspenders.
Dude.
And they had like I remember that phase.
I always thought that was a bit odd.
But yeah, like I was in that phase. Like we would shuffle at the primary school discos.
Wow.
And then when it's like jerking, like it's like basically the opposite of shuffling.
Shuffling is reverse.
Oh, is it?
That's what jerking is. Yeah, like the backwards one.
Yeah.
Oh.
And like I even learned how to knee drop. I knew how to do that before.
Wow, man, just show us.
And,
show them.
All
right, ready?
Oh, that's sick.
Oh my! What?
You wouldn't really act like
You
that.
still got it, man. That's crazy.
What just happened is they all just imagined it. So anyway,
crazy.
anyways, what happened was as soon as I went from like primary school to high school,
Yeah.
because I went to St. Andrew's Primary School, but when I went to
Ooh, censor that. One has to know that.
Tommy Francisco, that's gonna be my new like.
Hey
crew,
guys.
crew.
Hey guys.
Whatever.
But like when I went from St. Andrews, I went to Paddy Boys, right? And so
Tell your whole life then.
I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. They can know my life. I'm not there anymore.
Ooh.
Because they molded me. I'm not afraid to share where I came from. So
No, but people on the internet can know where you live. You know, we're gonna be famous.
I have no street address anymore. I'm a missionary.
True. The world is your home.
Exactly.
World is.
There is. I was telling you this. Home is not a place anymore.
You dissed me for listening to Eagle's Wings. And then you
What do you mean? I was ready to listen to Eagles Wings.
We
You
were.
were like, is that the song you're gonna play? That was the song I was gonna play.
Okay, context, guys. So we're in the car, and Nikki, she's a person that likes to skip songs, right? So we're on the topic of music. This is in the same context.
True. Same vein.
So I think you're either one or the other. You listen to a whole song,
Yeah.
or you skip it. No matter whether it's at the start, in the middle,
I disagree. I think you have moods.
Ooh.
but it's still one or the other, right?
True.
Like I agree, it's a mood. Like you
That's
search.
true. Sometimes I'll skip.
Sometimes I'll skip. It's not
Also,
like
you guys are song skippers too.
it's not
We're
like
just on different moods today.
it's not like there's a song like plays and I'm like, oh, I can't skip it. I have to sit through this. That's not what I mean.
torture. Like,
That's not what I
this is the worst song, but I can't skip it. No, skip it.
I mean, if you have Spotify, it's not premium.
But like, I mean like, we'll skip until we find our mood.
Yeah, you
But,
went through
but only in the car. You went through like
maybe
everything.
300 songs.
You reckon? That's a bit exag.
Yeah, maybe a bit exaggerated.
No, bro, like, because you don't even give the songs a chance, you know? They're like, you know, oh, dip, dip. Oh.
Because you know the vibe already.
Nah.
Can you preempt that? Like,
I don't even know because it's like
True, maybe because it's Nicky's playlist.
maybe because you know the playlist.
Oh,
but me and
that's
Tommy, like,
I had no, there were some good songs, man. I was ready.
it's like for me, I was listening and I was like, it's silent, but like you had to skip like 3 songs.
so does that make you want to drive now?
Ooh.
No, as in, like, does that make you want to drive me instead?
No, actually,
It's my baiting to make you drive.
after going fields and coming back, I prefer to be a passenger.
Whoa.
Because you've been in the tricycle.
Yeah, well, I've been in the passenger seat. Coming back to my original story,
Sorry.
right? Like,
Tangents, man. Tangents.
like we were telling the story, but I think when Rihanna, it was the time that Rihanna was hit by Chris Brown.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I remember that.
True.
That was the time that, like, that's my segue back into the topic,
Yeah,
right?
true.
Like, that's the time I stopped listening to music.
Mm.
And then I stopped. I just went to high school. And then, like, what brought me back was YFC when I joined again.
Music came back.
Yeah, because it was
that's
culture.
crazy.
It was like, it started with, like, Hillsong stuff.
Yeah, at a
But-
Song's
time.
always gonna get you. Start strong.
What are you saying? Start strong.
Oi, I love Ablaze music. Grateful.
Word.
I like that song. Grateful has been one of my favorite songs recently.
Can you give us a sample? That's the intro music.
Yeah, we're musos. So. But, no, like, Hillsong was played when I joined YFC. So, like, the immersion of music, it hit me again. It was like, whoa, like, I love... Music was reintroduced into my life. Like, I forgot how much it was. Like, impact. Like, it brought
It's
me
so,
back to
like-
childhood.
Yeah. Yeah. Music is a really strong thing for me too. Connection.
So, I started listening to Hillsong and, like, the YFC music that I was listening to. And then there's the next year. So, I joined in 2010, right? In October. The next year, I went to a high school-based camp. Right? It's a leaders retreat. And what got me there was, this is my music story. Hey, like, I was sitting there right? And they were just passing the guitar around and people were playing. And I was like, man, I want to be able to do that.
True.
Like people.
Pick up a guitar and play. Like, pick an instrument and play. And, like, picking up an instrument and playing was just amazing. So I started to pursue guitar. Like, I remember my first guitar was from Cash Converters.
Oh really?
Yeah. It was like a red nylon string guitar.
Oh, those hurt.
Really? Those are the ones that don't hurt.
The plastic ones.
Yeah.
Don't they hurt like when you press too hard?
No, that's
Nah,
the
that's
steel
steel
string.
string.
No, guys, trust. I used them in high school.
Steel string.
No,
Nylon.
the nylon ones. They were annoying. They didn't have a nice sound. Anyway, go on.
But my first guitar was a $70 guitar from Cash Converters, like that.
Nice.
Tuning was off and everything. Like, because my parents, right? I was the first one to pick up music.
Dang.
So,
The
like,
whole fams.
yeah, so of course, for them, they're like, $70 is expensive.
That's
Yeah.
heaps, yeah. Imagine 70.
And so, actually, no, before that, it started with the Easter show. You know the Easter show bags?
Oh, yeah?
They had like
That's the whole reason you
a
got
cheap ass guitar.
Did they?
Like, it was just like, it was just, you know, Easter show,
it was like
show
a
bags.
ukulele sized guitar, probably.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cute.
And then what happened was, I was legit like, okay, I'll practice. And then boom, like it broke. Like,
Yeah.
you try to tune it and then
Snaps.
snaps. And so then I was like, Mom and Dad, can we get it? I went to Cash Converters and looked, and $70. Okay, like my parents, they'll be fine at $70. Even that was hard for them. And then I picked it up and I started to learn. And then I learned from my first household head, because he was
Lawrence.
a musician at the time. No,
Yeah.
not my first. It was one of my household heads, Carl Serna.
Oh, I like
Yeah, you know
him. He's not a band now.
I know.
Clash Palace.
And
Plays bass?
yes, he plays
It's like
bass.
a trio, right? 3 of them.
So he would teach me guitar, and I was like learning, and then learn. That was what, about, I think 2011, and then 2012. Oh, before, like at the end of 2011, I actually like started to learn it and pick it up, and then because like I'm with Carl and stuff like that, like he'd influenced me to get a guitar. Towards the end of 2011, I saw like again. I walked in looking at the guitars and I found one and I was like, I want, like, this is the guitar I will buy. So yeah, put it into works. Went home, talked to my parents. Like they saw how legit I was.
Yeah.
And then I think a few weeks later, we went into Bam Bam, and we bought it. That's the guitar I use now.
Yeah, dang. That's nice.
Right? That's the one that I use now. It came with an amp, came with a case,
Wow.
plug in, like, because I wanted to start playing in YFC. So it started with like learning YFC stuff, and then 2012 was the first time I played in music ministry. And then, like, my first influence was John Mayer.
Yeah.
That's where I went from just listening to worship music, gospel music, to, all right, now I'm actually picking up music. Let me go into it.
Yeah.
So John Mayer was, besides Hillsong, it then became John Mayer. So, because I was pursuing guitar, so listening to his stuff, doing that stuff. And also I went Paddy Boy, so all the fobs, like,
True, yeah.
would play, and music, and their voices are amazing. So learn from that, and that's my influence. And then from John Mayer, I met like Kirsten and Nathan and stuff. I met people in Hawkesbury, and that's when I got to live my emo days.
True.
Because it's true, those are the ones that introduced me to Paramore and like the band stuff.
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
Because the more we started to play together as a band in Music Min, the more like I grew my talent, but like the more I got exposed.
Yeah, expanded your horizons.
Yeah. So playing in music ministry as well was the thing that like got me into music again.
That's interesting. For example, if you're Ed Sheeran is setting records because he tours with just himself, like a loop pedal and his guitar. He has the most minimum overhead ever in history of
What's that mean?
music. Overhead is like how much
So when you do a tour, right, you sell tickets and there's net income, which is like the total you've made in terms of like tickets sold or whatever, and then gross is minus how much you spent to make the tour happen. So like paying for buses or airplanes or all that. And Ed Sheeran is like almost scarily profitable because the only person that he needs to travel with is him and his guitar and his liquor. And he sells out arenas, right? He sells. He played 60,000 in Luxembourg like a week ago, and he played 55,000 in France, and then 40,000 in London.
And he gets all that.
And so what else is he gonna pay for? Like, there's no like he's not paying for another band. He's not paying for fireworks.
Yeah, interesting.
He has a lighting setup or whatever, and so he's breaking all of these records in terms of money anyway, because of his like low impact setup. And
that's his like vibe anyway. Like
right. Like he's like it's insane what he's doing, and it's like I don't know why I'm talking about that. It's so low key though, because no one knows he's breaking records.
He's not talking about it. He's not like saying this is what I do.
Right, like
it's just him. That's what it is.
Like.
But that's when it becomes about you and your craft.
Yeah. I think that's why he's at that level, because he doesn't care. Like the only thing he cares about is the music. Like there's no distractions of. I don't care, like, how am I going to make money or how am I going to pay for this or whatever. Like, he can literally just, everything's sorted, life is sorted, family's okay, whatever. Now he focuses on making the best piece of art that he can. And it shows, you mean? Like, people show up to people buy tickets. Like,
there's this whole thing about, do you remember when he stood next to Beyonce on a stage?
Yeah.
There's this whole like uproar about it. Did you hear about it?
No, what was it?
Because he was wearing just his plain clothes that he usually wears. And then Beyonce was in this gown, and all the feminists were like, why does a woman have to... I think that was the argument, right? Why does a woman have to dress up when Ed Sheeran can just rock up like that kind of thing? Like,
or even the opposite. Like, so there was that argument. There was also the, like, why didn't Ed try?
Yeah.
Like, why didn't he put in the effort or whatever?
For this event.
Yeah, Beyonce. This is Beyonce we're talking about, whatever.
But I think that's just like him.
It's part of
For me, it doesn't matter. Like, what does it matter kind of thing? I don't know.
It's interesting. Well, but that's in terms of being a musician, right? That's the goal. Like, if you can be yourself 1,000%, and that's what works, like, that's what you want. But for a lot of the time, it doesn't work. Which and no one knows why. Or
because it has the aspect of like image. I think like what we were talking about before we started this podcast, it was like I forgot. I'm in mind blank.
Image. We're talking about Ed Sheeran. Like look.
People buy into the person.
Into the person, right?
Yeah.
And people, it's either one. People either decide to be their own person or try to be that person.
Be their own person or...
Like, for example, like, media portrays the perfect artist, the perfect music. This is what it is. So people try to be that. But Ed Sheeran, on the other hand...
Like the opposite.
He's just trying to be himself.
Yeah.
And that's what makes him stand out. But that's what... And then his story as well, right?
Yeah.
Of how he got there is what people buy into.
Rags to riches.
And, like, I think a lot of artists are like John Mayer. He's a great musician, but on top of that, he's a unique personality.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about a photo I saw of Ed Sheeran in a fan. Have you seen it? And then the caption was like, how come Ed Sheeran looks like he's more excited to meet
the fan? Yeah, the fan. Yeah, that's true.
But it's those things that are unique. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's actually... a lot of the things I know about Ed Sheeran, I learned from Tommy. Because, like, it's, like...
Super fan.
Very influenced, like, you can tell. And I appreciated Ed Sheeran and started listening to him because of everything I was learning from Tommy about Ed Sheeran. Because before, like, I would just listen to him and I'm like, okay, cool, like, acoustic guitar, like, emotional song. But, like, once Tommy would tell me these stories and the influence that he had on Tommy, I was like, oh, cool, like, let's give it a go. And then I would listen, and then I'm like, okay, now I appreciate his music a lot more. And I like him, like, I actually listen to his stuff now, like...
Because you know his story.
Yeah, because I know his story, because I know where he's come from, and like the, I guess, spirit behind his songs.
You know the person
Yeah.
versus knowing the song.
Yeah, that's why that's my four. I have four big influences. Like John Mayer came from Carl, Paramore, and like bands came from like the Hawks guys. Ed Sheeran from Tommy, and Chance came from Gian.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Yeah, it was.
You're a mad Chance fan then.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like all it was, because I was a hater on rap, because I was like, because I'm like, if you listen to the first two influences, John Mayer and bands, it's all about the music.
Yeah.
Right? Technical, like you lose the art of a musician. And rap was just like rap, you can't understand what they're saying.
I appreciate the on the spot thinking, like the what's it called? Just the ability to.
Like freestyle, is that what
Yeah,
freestyle.
yeah.
Yeah,
I wish I could do that.
It was cool and it's hard, but I think for me it was
I've
like
tried.
it was like the beats were just like boring.
Yeah.
Like there's no technique. It's just a electric drum beat, and probably things they found on GarageBand. Like technically, right? Tommy would know.
Yeah. I know.
It's producing.
That's what you do. Yeah.
And if you've ever played around with GarageBand, you can find it there. Like,
Yeah, hard.
So I was always like, oh come on, like, and all they're talking about is like sex, money.
You can make some pretty good beats on GarageBand.
You can. That's probably like
Don't
where
hate.
I'm not.
Hey guys, wanna see mine? No jokes.
Okay, we'll play it. We'll play it as an outro so you guys can listen to this.
Oh, it's bad.
But I'm saying that like it was just there's like I was listening for the musical talent,
Yeah.
the uniqueness, and everything they rap about is what sex, money, or drugs, right? So I was just like, it's not. I don't have anything like
Not Kendrick Lamar. Oh no, does he?
But like that's what it came across, and I was just like, yeah, like it gets your heart pumping, but like for me, music is a journey, right? Like it's not just about the doof doof.
There's no substance.
Yeah.
And
I
then-
think EDM is one of my least favorite.
And then I was talking to like Gian about it, and then he was like, actually, I was driving him somewhere, and then he was like, Mandred, I think you'd like this rapper. He's like raps about the Bible. Or like he's like a Christian rapper, like,
okay.
And I was like, cool. And then he would play his songs, and I was like, oh, this guy's different because it's not like as if you listen and the album is Coloring Book, right? That's how I was introduced.
Ah,
to
that's
Chance.
interesting. Okay, I didn't know that.
I was introduced to Chance through Coloring Book,
That's OP then. Yeah, it's GG.
and then I was like, wow, like this is different to any rapper that I've heard.
Yeah.
I was like, first the sound, it got me because it was like technical, like it was different. It wasn't the really depressing sound. You know what I mean? Like it's sad. It was just like really poppy, but it's rapping, and like even his voice was unique. So I was like, cool, like this is cool. And then I started to look into that Coloring Book, and then I started to look into Chance as a rapper, and like actually my favorite song is like Blessings, the reprise.
Nice. Okay.
But like then Chance became popular around that time, you know, in Creative Precon and stuff. And then I was like, cool, like this guy's actually cool. Like, and I got into it. I got into it even more. And then I still hadn't touched his old stuff, actually. It was just Coloring Book. I fell in love with it. Just the messages behind the songs. And just his story about how he had like his transformation of when he had a kid, and that's what changed him.
Yeah.
Like when I learned about that, I was like, wow, like in a way promoting life, in a way like it shows you the effect of like life, like having a kid, like it changed him to be grateful and things like that. I heard that things, and then I started to explore his other stuff on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Because that's where it was, right?
Yeah.
His old albums. And then it was cool. I was like, this is sick. But I still was focused on Coloring Book, and then I bought, because you would see like his production, like in like videos, and it was like hectic. It was like, bro, like I would really want to go to his concert, and then we find out there's a concert, so I ended up going there, and actually, his concert was like the experience was pretty trash compared to John Mayer.
Do you want to Luna Park?
Yeah, like I'm gonna hate on the venue, but I don't care. Like,
Yeah, I heard a lot about comments from the venue.
the production was not that good. The venue vibe was not that good. Like for me, as a someone that went from John Mayer to Chance,
That's
like the rapping
Where
scene,
was John Mayer?
Luna Park.
as well.
John Mayer was at Little.
Oh, sorry. John Mayer was at Kudos.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
makes sense.
So like,
Isn't Big Top smaller though? I think
Yeah,
Luna Park.
yes, very small. But like the vibe was very much like people with like they're drinking and they're just it's like, and that's different for me. Like I haven't been there, right? Been to that, and so all of it was bad. But when Chance started like performing, like that was amazing. Like, and the fact that it rescued everything.
yeah.
Like his songs like live were hectic, and it was the same, and it was just like you could feel that, and then in the middle of his like concert, he started talking about like praying or something. I forgot what it is, but and it was just so subtle, and I was just like, this is like cool, like what he's trying to do, and then I got behind him, and that's when I started to listen to his older stuff more and appreciate that more and listen to his musical, like what he's trying to do. That's why with the new album, I'm not a hater because like there's a story behind it too.
True.
There's a story behind him. Yeah. So
You know him as a person.
Yeah.
so actually,
I think that's like life. If you want to understand people from where they are, you can never hate on something. You can never hate what you don't understand, kind of thing, because you understand the context. You know what I mean? Like people hate what they don't understand. Like if people, like for example, right? Like the people that you're around, right? You forgive them much more easier because you know them. But if they did the same, if someone else did the same thing that's what your friend's doing, you'd be easier to comment on that because you don't know them. You have a more, you can't judge them. Oh, sorry, you judge them harsher because there's no repercussion. There's no like,
It's like road
oh,
rage.
what if I'm gonna hurt their feelings? Or you know what I mean? They're a
Exactly.
bit distant from you.
exactly like road rage.
So that's why you should understand where everyone is coming from. Like the road rage. If everyone had a sign on the back of their cars saying, I'm a slow learner, like, explaining like all their like, you know, like
The human
weaknesses,
stuff, yeah.
you'd be more kind to people.
Technically,
you know
that's what the plates are.
Right.
Right?
Remember
That's the
when
concept,
Remember
right?
today when I saw an L plate, I was like, oh.
All right. She was like, you loser. But no, like, it's true. And I think it comes back to being influential in media. Like, actually, L plates were there to say that. Like, hey, I'm learning. Please bear with me.
Yeah.
But because of media and because of pride in a way, like even I'm not gonna lie, like I admit that when I was a red P plate, I was like,
Really?
losers, like.
Really? How rude. No, I'm serious. That's true.
But we're all like that, like
Nah.
at a point, like because it's
Nah.
like, I've.
No, because I lived the L life for so long. I know their struggle, man.
Yeah, but in other things, you mean like
But this is just my analogy. Right. Like
Okay.
we do that when we level up. It's like, I'm now above you.
Yeah.
Oh, like year sevens. Yeah.
Yeah, like high schools.
When they go to year 8, they're like, haha, year sevens, haha, with their backpacks really high.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yep. Let's take a moment of silence for all the people being bullied in year 7.
Another day.
There is gone. What's the next line?
I'm here with you.
All right, next line.
Nah, that's all.
Tommy Francisco.
Hey guys.
What's so funny about my voice?
No.
It wasn't your voice.
It's
Voice
just the phrases, you know. But
There you go.
what are we talking about?
E7's the analogy of learners and we don't understand. But I think it's a different, not different, same thought process, just the other way, because it's not just because like with the road rage and L plates and whatever, right? It's like getting to just like an even playing field. Whereas with Chance, for example, it's not getting to an even playing field. It's getting to I support you field, right? Like when there's haters, I'll defend you field, right? So I don't know what I'm trying to say there, but like
You said same thought process, but opposite or something?
yeah, see, so it's like even more so. Like so if someone if there's an L plater that's like struggling, instead of saying just letting them off, it's an L plater, you'll be like, yeah, I want that L plater to become the best driver ever. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
Why
the thing.
did you get hillbilly?
That wasn't.
That wasn't.
If you actually supported the L plater, yeah, you'd be like, it's all right, man. Like, yeah, you keep learning. No one says that.
True, until you know them.
Oh.
Like,
I do that.
Like
No, there's
because
someone on the test, and I was like, "You got this."
that's actually something Nikki would do.
Yeah,
though.
true. Yeah, I agree.
It's funny to us, but like
Yeah,
that's something.
No, because I was there at one point.
As in
Yes.
you were like no, but yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah.
You
But
were in
yeah,
that
so you
situation.
understand what I'm saying, like.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you like felt it from people though, like people that knew you, like as an L player, they're like, oh, like some may have been like, oh, hurry up and get your license, but some would have been like, hey, Nikki, like encouraging you, right?
Yep.
But the same people would have been like to L players on the road, get off the bloody road, mate. Like,
Exactly.
you know, like so
That's true. Yeah.
it's the same concept, and it all comes back to relationships, knowing
Yeah.
people,
Power of the person.
power of the person. It is because you understand. Like you said, I like what you said, Nikki. It's like there wouldn't be haters if you understood.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't hate if you understand.
That's
You-
why I believe that.
God the Father, the Almighty,
I
Creator of
believe in
heaven
God.
and earth.
Communication will heal the world. It will solve every issue in this world. I believe that, and I'm adamant on that. Like, if anything that is like wrong with like your life, like it can be. I reckon it could be solved with communication. Like, if there's an injustice in your life, like it's not communication with you or per se, but like maybe there has to be a communication that's needed on top
Yeah.
to help that situation. You know what I mean? Like poverty. Why? Maybe someone who doesn't share their resources well because they don't understand people. Like they don't understand sharing or like. Do you know what I mean? Like just communicate. Like understand
let's-
others' realities. Like you know what I mean?
Let's define
Yeah.
communication. Because I think some people think communication is just
Talking.
talking out loud.
Yeah.
Like that's not what we're talking about here, right? Because if we're talking about like in that way, it's conversation, right?
Yeah.
Or like some people take communicate as I hate this, but communication involves understanding, right? Saying how you feel and then taking a step back, right?
I would say it is understanding. Because if you don't understand it, you're not communicating anything. You're just noise.
True. I like that. Let's give it a clap.
So yeah, thanks for listening though.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, so we'll catch you on the flippy flips. Mandrin! Focus!
Sorry.
So that's an example of Mandrin not listening to us. Ooh.
Alright, I'm gonna save it, guys. Alright, thanks, guys, for listening. Catch us on YouTube. Our next episode will be out very soon. My name is Tommy Francisco. This is
Nikki.
Sorry, this is Mandarin.
Mandrin!
Mandrin Fernandez, and we are the Waffle Spice.
Waffle
We are the Waffle Sprite. We are the Waffle Fries.
We're the Waffle Spice. We're the freaking stuff. Alright,
That's good.
That's the end of the episode, guys. See you next time.